I don't remember falling asleep. I remember the doctor saying my heart rate was dropping. I remember someone saying my name, and then nothing. They told my family later that I was clinically dead for 7 minutes. No brain activity, no response, no reason to expect me to come back. But I did. And what I saw while I was gone never left me. When I woke up, I wasn't in a tunnel. There was no light, no voices of loved ones. I woke up standing. The room was small, low ceiling. The walls were red, but not painted. They looked alive, warm, breathing. The air was heavy, thick. Every breath burned my lungs like smoke. And I knew immediately where I was. Not because someone told me, because the place recognized me. I wasn't alone. Something was standing a few feet away. It didn't rush toward me. It didn't threaten me. It just watched. Then it spoke. Not with its mouth, inside my head. It started reading my life out loud. Every lie, every person I hurt and never apologized to, every moment I chose cruelty because it was easier. It knew things no one else ever did, things I thought were buried. I tried to speak. I tried to apologize. That's when it stepped closer. I could finally see its face. It looked human enough to be unsettling, calm, patient, tired. Like this wasn't its first time doing this today. It leaned close and said,
"You're not here by mistake."
I begged to go back. I told it I would change, that I understood now, that I wasn't supposed to die yet. It stared at me for a long time. Then it said something I still hear in my sleep.
"You're only leaving because someone upstairs miscounted."
It touched my chest. I felt pain for the first time since arriving. Real pain. Then everything went black. I woke up screaming in the hospital. Machines were beeping. Doctors were shouting. They said I had a sudden spike in heart activity. No medical explanation. But that wasn't what terrified them. When they pulled down my gown, there was a mark on my chest. A burn. Perfectly shaped. Like a hand. The hospital documented it as an unexplained lesion. They couldn't explain the smell either. Sulfur. I survived, but I didn't come back alone. Every night since then, when the lights are off, I smell it again. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I feel fingers pressing into the same spot on my chest. Like something is reminding me I wasn't forgiven. I was returned.
They said the stroke came without warning. One moment she was talking on the phone, the next she collapsed. By the time she reached a hospital, she was unresponsive. Doctors put her into a medically induced coma. They told her family the damage was extensive. They said if she woke up, she wouldn't be the same. They were right. While her body lay still in the hospital bed, she woke up somewhere else. She was standing in a room that looked like an old office. No windows, no clocks. Tall shelves filled with folders, contracts, and ledgers stacked to the ceiling. The air smelled like dust and metal. Coins were scattered across the floor. Gold, silver, some she didn't recognize. She felt calm, comfortable. This was a place she understood. A man sat behind a large wooden desk, well-dressed, neat, tired. He didn't look angry. He looked bored, as if he had been waiting for her all day. She spoke first. She asked where she was. He answered without looking up from the papers in front of him. Somewhere you visit often. You just never noticed. She didn't panic. Instead, she did what she had always done. She negotiated. She told him who she was, what she owned, what she could offer. Money, property, influence. She promised donations, foundations, charity in her name, things she never planned to do while alive. The man finally looked at her. He smiled. Not cruelly, almost kindly.
You're not the first one to try that,
he said. She asked him what he wanted. He leaned back in his chair and replied,
Nothing you brought with you.
She grew desperate. She offered more. Everything. She said she would give it all away if she could just go back. That's when he stood up. He walked past her toward the shelves. He pulled out a thin folder. Her name was written on it. Inside were details of every deal she had ever made, every corner cut, every person she crushed quietly, every time she chose profit over people. He closed the folder. Then he said,
Your currency doesn't work here.
She screamed. For the first time, fear reached her. She demanded to leave. The man sighed and said something she still remembers word for word.
We don't keep you, we empty you.
The office faded. The shelves disappeared. She felt like something was being taken from her. Not painfully, carefully, like numbers being erased from a page. She woke up in the hospital days later, alive, against expectations. Doctors called it a miracle, but they noticed something immediately. She couldn't recognize money. She stared at cash like it was foreign paper. Numbers meant nothing to her. She didn't understand accounts, values, ownership. Her family said it was brain damage, but the scans were clean. She lived, but everything she had built meant nothing to her now. She gave it all away, not out of guilt, but because she felt nothing when she looked at it. Before she died years later, she told a nurse one last thing. She said, I tried to buy my way out. They took the part of me that wanted to.
The accident happened on a quiet afternoon. No witnesses, no dramatic final words. By the time paramedics arrived, his heart had already stopped once. They brought it back, but in the emergency room, it stopped again, this time longer. Doctors later said he was gone for 9 minutes. No measurable brain activity, no response to pain, no reflexes. They told his family to prepare themselves. They didn't expect him to wake up. While his body lay motionless in the hospital bed, he became aware somewhere else. Not suddenly, gently, as if waking from a deep, perfect sleep. He was standing in an open field, no walls, no sky, just soft light in every direction. The air felt warm but not hot, quiet but not empty. He felt something he had never felt before. Relief. There were no faces, no voices, but there was a presence, not watching, waiting. It didn't speak with words. It didn't need to. He understood everything without being told. This place didn't demand anything. It didn't judge. It didn't keep score. For the first time in his life, he felt complete. No fear, no regret, no urgency. He felt like he belonged there, like he had arrived exactly where he was meant to be. Then something changed. The light dimmed just slightly, and a thought entered his mind, clear and unmistakable.
Not yet.
He felt no anger, no disappointment, just understanding. And then he was moving backward, not falling, being guided. He woke up in the hospital, surrounded by machines and voices. His chest hurt, his throat burned, his family was crying. He wasn't. Recovery took months, but something about him was different, quieter, kinder, unshaken by things that once consumed him. He never spoke about what he saw, not in detail, but sometimes late at night he would say one thing: "I've already been there, and I'm not afraid anymore." The strange part isn't that he came back, it's that he spent the rest of his life missing a place he was never meant to stay. He was successful by every visible measure. Expensive apartment, rare cars, a life built on things he could touch. People said he had everything. Then one night, his heart stopped in his sleep. Paramedics arrived quickly. They restarted his heart, but he never woke up. Doctors called it a deep coma. No response, no movement, no sign of awareness. They said his body was alive, but they weren't sure about the rest. While his body lay still in the hospital bed, he opened his eyes somewhere else. He was standing in a hospital corridor. At first, everything looked normal. White walls, fluorescent lights, the distant sound of machines. Then he realized something was wrong. The hallway stretched endlessly in both directions. No doors, no turns, just glass walls on both sides. Behind the glass, he could see the real world. Doctors walking past, nurses checking monitors, his family sitting quietly in a waiting room. He tried to shout. No sound came out. He ran to the glass and pressed his hands against it. His fingers passed through, but his body didn't. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't cross. He could see everything. He could touch nothing. As he moved down the corridor, the glass began to change. It started reflecting him, not as he was, but as versions of himself. Older, richer, alone, forgotten. Eventually, he noticed something else, a reflection that didn't move when he did. It stood behind him, perfectly still. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. He understood the message instantly. You lived for what you could touch. The reflection leaned closer, and the final thought entered his mind. Now you only get to see. He woke up weeks later, against all expectations. Doctors called it remarkable, but he felt wrong. He said the world felt distant, like there was still something invisible between him and everything else. Glass. He stopped caring about possessions, not out of growth, but because they no longer felt real. Before he died years later, he told one last person, "I don't think I ever fully came back. I think part of me is still there."
She had been tired for a long time. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, the kind that settles into the bones. The overdose wasn't dramatic. No note, no message, just silence in a locked bathroom. She didn't expect to wake up again. Doctors later said her heart slowed to almost nothing. Her body survived, barely. They called it a coma. While machines kept her alive, she opened her eyes somewhere else. She was standing near a lake. The water was perfectly still, dark but calm. No wind, no sound. For the first time in years, her chest didn't hurt. She felt no fear, no sadness, no weight, just quiet. She understood immediately. This was where things ended, and she was relieved. Something was there with her. Not a figure, not a voice, just a presence beside the water, waiting. She didn't ask where she was. She only asked one question. Can I stay? The presence didn't answer right away. The lake remained still. Then the answer came. Clear, gentle, final. No. She felt herself being pulled away, not violently, not cruelly, like someone closing a door slowly. She woke up screaming in the hospital, her body live, her mind shattered by disappointment. Recovery was slow, painful, but the strange part came later. In quiet moments, when everything else went still, she could hear it again. The same presence, the same calm certainty. Not calling her, not comforting her, just reminding her, when you're done, I'll come back. The worst part isn't that she wanted to die. It's that something out there knew she would want to try again and was willing to wait.